Hi, Raylene Froman, the Roman Froman here. How about a spring market update for the housing market in Pueblo, Colorado and surrounding areas? And we'll answer a couple of the questions like why is the housing inventory so low and when is it going to improve? Let's get started. I wanted to take a look at the spring market conditions for Pueblo, Colorado housing market. I know a lot of people are asking me, isn't this normally the time? Isn't spring the time where we start to see more houses come on the market? Why is the housing inventory still so tight? Right now, it's nationwide, really. So, nationwide, the housing inventory has never been lower. So we're at historic lows in Pueblo, Colorado as well. If we take a look at some of the reasons why the housing market is so tight, number one, there's a lot of demand. So the millennial workforce is the largest group in the workforce, and they're at the stage where they're starting to buy houses. So we're seeing that increased demand. Sellers are hanging on to their houses, maybe for a couple of reasons. One, COVID, maybe they're not comfortable putting their home on the market during this time, or maybe they're hanging on to it for a rental and moving up or moving to a different style of home. Also, interest rates. So, interest rates are at a terrific low rate for buyers. And then also builders. So the builders are building as quick as we can. We see a lot of building going on, single family homes around the community. COVID has impacted the builders as well. I've chatted with several builders lately who tell me that impacts such as not only their workforce, but supply chain. The COVID has affected the supply chain, cost for items such as lumber and construction materials are higher. So all of that was impacting the availability. And COVID itself has impacted this to some extent. Sellers not comfortable opening their home to buyers to look during this time and waiting for the vaccine. So those are some of the reasons why the housing inventory is so tight at this point in time. But spring is typically the time when we start to see more homes come on the market. So, are we going to start to see more homes come on the market? Let's take a look at some of those factors. Typically, spring is the time where we do see more homes come onto the market. However, my crystal ball, not working right now. And many people are having trouble projecting the future with COVID impacting and playing havoc on the market. So, what I can tell you is I have seen an uptick in listings in the last couple of weeks in the Pueblo and surrounding areas. Also, I am seeing that builders are completing their homes that were in process. Spoken with several of the builders, and they say they're running, maybe 4 to 6 weeks behind. We are starting to see completions of those homes. Many of the new construction homes are sold as quickly as the land can be bought and the permits can get scheduled. Those people are moving from somewhere, and so hopefully that's freeing up some additional homes as well. Also, another impact may be interest rates. So, interest rates are starting to tick up. They're still low by many standards. I know when I bought my first home, I paid 16% interest and thought that that was great. So, the interest rates are still very low compared to that, but we need to watch as they start to tick up because it can impact your purchasing power. So, speaking of interest rates, let's talk about interest rates for a minute. So, the interest rates in the housing industry and the mortgage industry closely track with the 10-year Treasury note rates. And right now, the Treasury note rates have been ticking upwards a little bit. So, we need to keep an eye on that. For example, the 10-year Treasury note rate in January 2019 was 2.71%. And then a year later, January 1st, 2020, it was about 1.76%. At the beginning of this year, 2021, was 1.08%, just barely over 1%. At the end of this week, the 10-year Treasury note rate was 1.71%. So they are ticking up. We need to pay attention to this It's not the only factor, but it is a factor in considering whether it's the right time to buy for you. So let's take a look at an example of what an increase of just 1% might do to your purchasing power. And you could run an amortization schedule if you're a numbers person and you like to know the exact impact. You could run your assumptions in an amortization schedule that breaks down your principal and interest and payment amount for each period and know what the total impact is. But if you're looking for a quick and easy heuristic, and I love that word, it simply means a rule of thumb. So if you're looking for a quick heuristic, then try this. Typically, if you want to keep your payment about the same and the interest rates go up just 1%, then you lose about 10 to 11% of your purchasing power. So, what that means, simply put, is if you're trying to purchase a $300,000 house and you want your payment to be a certain amount, then the interest rates increase by 1%. You're now looking at a house that costs 10% less or $270,000 instead of $300,000. So what's the difference between a home and the amenities for $270,000 versus $300,000? We'll take a look at your market and you can see that difference. That's one impact of interest rates on the market. It's not the only consideration in your purchasing process, but other factors are constant, then it may be something that you want to give more consideration to. Across the country, the average home price is $297,000, a 9% increase from a year ago. If we look at Pueblo and the surrounding areas, the average home price for a single family home is $268,000. This was $216,000 just a year ago, so a 24% increase over the year. The days on the market, a year ago, homes were staying on the market about 82 days. Currently, we're seeing 72 to 73 days on the market. And a year ago, they were going at about 98% of list price. And today, it's 99 to 100%, depending on the neighborhood that you're looking at. If we segregate out Pueblo West numbers individually, as Pueblo West is a very popular residential area, and we take a look at that, a year ago, the prices in Pueblo West were $285,000 for an average home. Now, this year, mid-March, the price is $349,000. And the days outstanding, so the houses are selling in 60 days, as opposed to a year ago, it was about 72 days. And they're selling at about 100% of list price. So this is about a 22% increase from a year ago today, considerably more than the national average. So I hope you've enjoyed this spring market report. And if you're in search of a home and you're concerned about the limited inventory, one of the videos called 5 Differences Between Building versus Buying might be of interest to you. Thanks for joining. And as always, if you like this market report, please press the like button below and subscribe as we have more videos coming out each week. So for now, it's the Roman Froman, making home your favorite destination. Have a wonderful spring.